When I moved into my new apartment in Chicago, I was just looking for a fresh start. It was a third floor unit in an old brick building. Nothing fancy, but it had character. The rent was cheap, which should have been my first red flag. Dunn handed me the keys and mentioned one thing almost as an afterthought. The fourth floor is sealed off, he said. Don't worry about the noises. Old buildings creak, pipes bang, but it wasn't creaking. On my first night, I heard footsteps, clear, slow, and deliberate, directly above me. I checked the ceiling, half expecting a rat the size of a dog. But no, it was footsteps, human. They walked from one side of the apartment above to the other. I went to bed thinking maybe the landlord was wrong. Maybe someone was squatting up there. Every night around 2:14 a.m. I'd hear it again. The same footsteps, same pattern. Then dragging sounds like furniture being moved. Sometimes a thud. Then silence. One night I gathered the courage to go up. The fourth floor was behind a heavy fire door marked D. To not enter, sealed by order of the city. It groaned open like something out of a horror movie. The hallway beyond was dark, smelled of rot, and the air was icy cold. I stepped in, my phone flashlight barely cutting the darkness. There were 3 units up there, 4A, 4B, and 4C. 4B had something scratched into the door. Not written, scratched like with nails or something sharp. It just said, "Don't let her in." A faint shuffle like someone dragging their feet across the floor. I backed up and left. Locked the fire door behind me this time. The next few nights were worse. I started seeing her, a woman, pale-skinned, with long black hair that stuck to her face like seaweed, just standing in the hallway outside my apartment at night. The first time I saw her, I thought she was lost. "Mom, are you okay?" I asked. She didn't respond, just stared, then walked away, barefoot, leaving wet footprints on the old wooden floor. But when I followed the footprints moments later, they just stopped halfway down the hall. No trail, no water, nothing. I started asking neighbors. Most avoided the question. One old woman who lived on the first floor finally said that building's cursed. Fourth floor had a fire in the 90s. A woman named Alice lived in 4B. She went mad, killed her daughter, burned the place trying to kill herself. But no one ever found her body. I asked Mr. Dunn, the landlord, directly. He went pale, said she used to call him at 2:14 a.m. every night after the fire for 3 years. Always the same words, he whispered. "Let me in, Mr. Dunn. I'm cold. Please let me in." He changed his number, but the calls kept coming for years. Then one day they just stopped. Last week it escalated. I woke up again at 2:14 a.m. to footsteps above me, but now they were faster, panicked, running, then a thud like someone had fallen. I ran upstairs again. This time the fire door was wide open. Inside 4B, the apartment was untouched by time. Furniture covered in white sheets, dust thick on every surface. But there was signs someone had been there. Footprints in the dust, water stains on the floor, and then I saw the wall, carved deep into the plaster over and over again, were the same words, "Let me in." Suddenly, my phone flashlight flickered out. I heard a whisper behind me, "You let me in." "Thank you." I turned and she was there, right in front of me, skin cracked and soaked, eyes black, hollow, hair dripping. She reached for my hand, ice cold and wet, and gripped it. I screamed, yanked away, and ran down the stairs. I locked myself in my apartment. I didn't sleep, I didn't even blink. Dark finger-shaped marks. I tried to leave the building that day. The front door wouldn't open, no matter how hard I tried. Then I noticed the mail slot. Letters were piled up, all addressed to Elise Waverly, Unit 3B, my unit. I wasn't living in her old apartment, I was living in hers. The city had renumbered the units after the fire to make it easier to rent them out. No wonder the noises were directly above me. They were coming from the ceiling of her old room. Mine, that night, I heard her again. This time she was in the walls, whispering, "You let me in. Now you stay." She is here now, watching, listening. She just wants to be remembered. And if you hear footsteps tonight around 2:14 a.m., don't be it truce. Hope you let her in too. You let me in. Now you stay.